defaming him by corruptly editing that dispatcher tape. The judge threw out the case because she said that when Zimmerman had gone public trying to get justice for the homeless man who had been beaten up in Sanford, he made himself a public figure and was no longer immune to this kind of criticism.
That's fascinating. And I almost think there's more damage by the editing of that NBC tape where they edited the tape where George says he calls the police. There's a suspicious guy here. He's black. Right. I almost think that's the worst thing about that is that it's damaged this whole other narrative of this 3.5-minute tape that no one's heard. And when I talk about this edited tape, everyone's right away goes to that NBC thing, which is bad. But I think it's even worse. If you listen to the rest of that tape, it's just obvious this kid was scared. And he wasn't chasing anybody. He wasn't looking for a fight at all.
No, Zimmerman was legitimately scared of this guy. He circles the car. He's got his hand in his pocket. He's out on a rainy night just wandering around. He looks like he's high. He was high, Trayvon was also into burglary. He had been apprehended with burglary tools and stolen jewelry. It was not like he was innocent partying with these Skittles and iced tea. We even know this. It wasn't iced tea. It was watermelon cooler. And the Skittles and the watermelon cooler are 2/3 of the way to the drink called Purple Lean. All you need is the Robitussin. And on his tweets, Trayvon Martin had talked often about securing Robitussin, blah, blah, blah. He was dealing guns at the time.
Yeah. All that's in the film, too. You can catch it in the film, too, as well. And, the whole thing with the lean was so obvious to anybody who was who knows what's going on with these kids and these tweets and stuff. And that's why I said, man, if he was talking to that Jontel, I bet you she was getting him the codeine. I bet she was the one who was getting it for him. But it turns out it was a whole different setup there. Great work there by Joel Gilbert, man.
He did an excellent job. Book and film called The Trayvon Hoax. And if I could put another plug in for my own book, which just came out last week, it's called The Hunt. It's a novel. And although you can buy it at wherever you buy books, I would recommend you get a collector's edition before Christmas at a very special website we set up, signed copies at thehuntbook.com. It's a action thriller, political action thriller, and it's gotten just rave reviews. We really put a lot into it.
Jack Cashel, thank you so much, my friend.
Ed, appreciate it. Happy to come back any other time.
Okay? Thank you. Good night, my friend.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, there we had Jack Cashel, author of the book If I Had a Son. And we were talking mostly about the Joel Gilbert film that just came out about the Trayvon hoax. And if I just have to say, let me give you a little background on my involvement in all this. When I first, and I didn't know about the Good Morning America interview the next day. My first contact with this case was the Jane Velez Mitchell episode on HLN. And when I started hearing this 311 tape, and they cut it off after Zimmerman gets out of the car and he's huffing and puffing. It sounds like he's chasing somebody. I know from listening to thousands of those tapes over my career that wasn't the full tape. Okay, because there's stuff that they ask you, what's your address? Well, the police are on their way, stay on the line. There's a ring of truth to these kind of tapes when you've heard these tapes over and over again. So I knew it was cut off. So I contacted the police department down there, Stanford Police, I guess it was, and I says, hey, can you send me the copy of the 911 tape? And, I gave the date and the time and all that kind of stuff, the names of the people involved. And I got back the standard email saying, well, there is no 911 tape. And I said, oh, that's weird. And then I got a personal email from the public information office down there saying it's not a 911 tape. Put in your request for a 311 tape. So they had to have been aware that the news media was playing an edited version of this tape because they made this special effort to get me the full tape. When I got the full tape and I started, because Florida's an open sunshine state, you can get all police reports, you can get everything. And when I started pulling all this stuff up, I saw that it wasn't like it was being reported on the news. So I contacted HLN, because at the time I was interviewing everybody who was involved with Court TV, and nobody at Court TV at the time. And so I says, hey, I've got this full tape, and I've got, some stuff here I'd like to come on. And I was supposed to go on a show, but at the last minute they dropped me. And the host was even arguing with a guest, using my information, arguing with the guest, but still not getting out the true story about this full tape, which I don't even think was played at the trial, to tell you the truth. I watched the trial as much as I could, and you'd think that they would have played it over and over and over again. Later on, my involvement was that I was working for the news media, and I was able to trace down George Zimmerman where he was located. That information was worth a lot of money. And he set up a website called The Real George Zimmerman. I found his email address from that. I emailed him. I saw where he was when he opened up my email, and I was able to locate him. And this was like hours before he turned himself in on these charges. So I've always been very familiar with this case, and I've always, when I look at something like this, I'm very objective, If it doesn't fit in with my political beliefs, because I'm a leftist, Jack seems to be far on the right. He has this whole theory about, that the left cooked up this whole thing to discredit whatever, I just look at this as, hey, what does the evidence lead us, And this is what I've come to. So many of my friends on the left, I guess you say, or anti-racist, anti-fascist, they don't want to hear the facts of this case. They just want to sit and say, well, no, this is a case of racism. Which, my friends, this case is being used against us when we have people marching in the streets, okay, saying that we don't support a jury verdict. Okay, when your average defendant, you get a better verdict going to a jury than you will before a judge, and a much better chance of getting off. And saying that we don't support the stand your ground or a self-defense defense. If you want to take away my right to self-defense defense in court, the rates of incarceration will go through the roof. If you don't have that. Because your average murder defense is, hey, with self-defense, it's two guys, in a gang, two different drug dealers, one guy pulled out his gun first, We've been having a dispute with this guy for months, and I saw him, he saw me, he pulled out his, and sometimes you can win on a self-defense case, but those most murder cases, that's how they are. Okay, it's not like you're being attacked by a stranger, and it's self-defense. You're a robber and a good guy and a bad guy. It's usually a couple of guys out there doing crime, and you want to take away this defense, and this puts us all under the jackpot there. I hope people understand what I'm trying to say. When the left was manipulated into marching to take away our right to a jury trial and to take away our right to self-defense and take away our right to gun ownership, too, as well. We're just as right to own guns as the right. But this whole story has been concocted and distorted along racial lines, which is really, in this case, too, so bizarre. When you have people who were witnesses thought that they were both black. Zimmerman, in the dark can look like a black guy, Most people meeting him wouldn't say he was white. They would say, oh, yeah, he's dark-skinned, person of color, but it's taken away from him. His own heritage is taken away from him. So I have to be critical both of my friends on the left and my friends on the right in this case who don't want to look at the specific facts of the case and the details. This business here about this hoaxed witness, there's no way on earth, okay, that witness flies, man. That you can go to an address that the person named Diamond Eugene is connected to that address. The real Diamond Eugene is connected to... The real Diamond Eugene, by the way, is in the Trayvon Martin phone logs. This is all... It's all there, man. Like, this can be proven in court that this witness was swapped. There's no doubt about that. Now, the question is, how did this get past the prosecution, who put up a statement, a handwritten statement that was written by one party, signed by a second party, with a third party's name? And then you have a witness on the stand named Jantel, what was the name? Rachel Jantel, saying, yeah, that's my statement. I didn't write it. I can't read it, but I signed somebody else's name to it. And that stands, And then on top of that, you have her saying this all stuff, very defensive witness. Anyway, thank you so much, Jack Cashel. And I would just urge people to look at this with an open mind, without a political agenda, without a racial agenda. Just look at the facts of the case here, and I can't see how you'll come to a different conclusion than I have. By the way, I've done this whole show without my contact lenses, and I've done the show blind. Okay, first time ever, because I go to the optometrist tomorrow and get those new contacts, so I had to keep my lenses out. So I couldn't really read my notes and see stuff. Okay, I can't even look at the clock right now to do the thing, but there you go. Check out OppermanReport.com and check out Spreaker.com. We seriously need your support right now, so we need memberships because I got all these expenses coming up. We're traveling, we're moving. We got Victoria's tuition coming up, and I have this expensive eye doctor's appointment here is going to cost them over $1,000. So thank you so much, Jack Cashel, and good night. And now a word from our sponsors.
Have you ever thought about opening your own mobile cart or kiosk business? Maybe the facility you manage could establish new revenue by adding coffee, food, or retail services. Cart King International can be the answer to your needs. Cart King is a North American designer and manufacturer of the finest mobile coffee, food, and retail carts and kiosks. Cart King has been working with clients and corporations across North America for 20 years, providing innovative designs, custom manufacturing, and timely delivery. Carts and kiosks are fun, and so are the dozens of designs on our website. Please visit us today at www.cart-king.com or just call us at 1-877-986-7771 and get your sales rolling.
PureSoapFlakes.com, 218-568-2525. Have you ever heard of Castile Soap? Pure Soap Flake Company handcrafts fine soap bars, laundry powder, and concentrated soap flakes using organic vegetable oils from their northern Minnesota facility. Bathe your body and wash your clothes with pure soap products that are free of fragrance, GMOs, palm oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, and synthetic additives, safe for drains and waterways, and work great in high-efficiency washers and top and front-loading machines. They have a little promotion going on. Contact them to order some soap. Mention the Opperman Report. You're going to get a free gift. Order today at puresoapflakes.com or give them a call, 218-568-2525, 218-568-2525. Pure Soap Flake Company is a proud member of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild.
Are you ready to change your life, but don't know how to start? Is your stress and worries keeping you awake at night? Have you been battling grief, anxiety, or depression all alone? Have you lost touch with your own sense of being or spirituality? Soul Free Therapies offers professional and affordable live video streaming counseling and coaching services from the comfort of your own home. Sessions offered in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. Go to our website at www.soul-free.com and book your first session today.
Hey, check out our brand new sponsor, Dynamic Solutions 2. That's the number 2. They offer a life-changing, dynamic financial solution. The finest in fast, professional, affordable credit repair. Is your credit in bad shape? Do you need a new car? Ready to buy a new house? You want to rent an apartment? Are you going to apply for a job? Any one of these activities, they're going to ask for a credit report and then check out your credit score. Let Dynamic Solutions 2 erase your negative credit remarks. They have affordable monthly prices. They accept Visa, MasterCard, PayPal options available. You go to www.dynamicsolutions, that's the number 2.com, or call 424-888-2820. 424-888-2820. Now, if you enter promo code ED or you mention Ed Opperman, you get a 10% discount. How's that? You get a free consultation, all negative items removed, get back in positive credit position. Dynamic Solutions 2, life-changing dynamic financial solutions. 424-888-2820. Tell them Ed Opperman sent you. You get a 10% discount.
Hey, you, podcast listener. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. Take the blue pill. You wake up in your bed and go back to listening to mundane podcasts that won't challenge your religious beliefs and your so-called truths about reality, the universe, and consciousness. Take the red pill. Subscribe to the Event Horizon podcast, hosted by Mark Anthony Peterson, and he will show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Event Horizon takes a walk into the paranormal with a splash of conspiracy. It's the podcast that would be born if David Icke and the X-Files had a baby. Subscribe to the Event Horizon podcast by Mark Anthony Peterson on Spreaker, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, CastBox, Stitcher, or any of your other favorite podcast platforms. Remember, all we are offering is the truth, nothing more.
Tina Helmuth is writing an ongoing series of fact-fiction books that boldly takes on today's most heinous crimes. Suffer the Little Children, The Wrath of the Father, and Unbreakable. Deeply researched